What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, Crypto, Ko-Fi, and Patreon link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, we are joined by Refracted Curvature, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
What about Brian?
Hello.
Brian's not here.
Hey.
I just heard his voice.
You're leaving the intro, you don't get an intro. What do you want? No, we do have Brian. I'm sure he's just popped off for a second. He was in a shop when he was talking to us last. I'm sure he's just on the bus now, or whatever it is that Irish people do for transport.
We're trying to say Irish people don't own cars?
that was the joke that I tried to infer, but you've ruined it. Thank you, Neil. That was wonderful. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge, horizon formerly known as Earth curve?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, is there any evidence that the thing they used to say block boats and buildings in the distance, we call the horizon, and they say we're physically blocking things in the distance, is it provable as Earth curve with evidence that it is actually a hill getting in the way of stuff?
No,
If we
that's
count
merely
refraction.
optical.
Duncan, go ahead, Duncan.
Yeah, I was going to say, if we count refraction, then it's a physical horizon, they say.
No, that's a contradiction in terms. If it's refracted, it's not physical. So if it's refracted non-physical, then it's physical. Makes very little sense.
It's physical, non-physical, physical, I think.
Physical, non-physical, physical, non-physical. Shout out to Daniel Samaniego. Finally, I think that's the first time I've said it without effort. Next time, I'll not highlight the fact that I've actually said your name correctly. Thank you for gifting the memberships. Really appreciate the support. Over 200 members now on this channel. I remember I had less than 200 subscribers. Wonderful. Thank you very much for all your support. Any evidence you can acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline? That was for you, Duncan.
Sure, they do it every day.
That was directed at
On
Duncan
spherical
because he was implying the physical, non-physical when you're trying to establish a horizontal with the horizon. You're talking about the ground and its physicality because you're going to be measuring angles with it and negotiating it, mapping it, moving around on it. That's very much a physical thing that you'll be doing, and you're using the horizon to do it. That is measure Earth flat.
What I
Angles
was
needs
told
two
was-
straight lines.
It's the second attempt. That was to Duncan. Second time's a charm.
Sorry.
Yes, I believe angles need two straight lines, not curved lines.
Not going to be using a curved baseline then. Bummer.
Nope.
Right, Earth is flat. It's measured that way.
That's it. I'm out of here.
Well, that's the message we want to put forth going forward on the front foot at every opportunity. It's our sales pitch, so to speak.
I was trying to say what I was told was they're doing celestial navigation every day somewhere on the Earth. So yes, you can get an elevation angle from a curved baseline. So they're just, what do you call that? What fallacy is that, Nathan?
I don't know about fallacy. It's just wrong.
You know, I was watching Master and Commander the other day, and they pull out flat maps and charts, and they use angles on those flat maps and charts with straight lines. They're not curved. It's weird.
And then they draw flat circles on them to represent the areas of equal elevation on the flat ground, on the flat
Well,
map.
circles can only be drawn Yeah, circles can only be drawn on planes according to Euclidean geometry.
Yeah, and all the measurements would be conducive with that method. So we're measuring Earth and navigating Earth flat then. It's been charted and mapped flat, and the way we got those charts from the stars were to measure it with angles on a flat plane. That's right. Earth's been measured flat and mapped flat and charted mapped flat and negotiated flat basically forever. That's how Earth is. Why wouldn't it be any other way? And it isn't. That's how it's measured.
Yeah, I thought Russell Crowe was going to pull a globe out of his pocket, but he didn't. It was weird.
I was just gonna say, I watch those movies and I never see anybody on a pirate ship or naval ship with a globe in their hand. It's always flat maps on a table.
It has to be, otherwise the measurements they're taking to the stars won't work. You have to do it flat. That's how it's done.
Say that again, Nathan, because
done
that's
flat.
brilliant.
Hold on, I've got someone in the chat telling me no sound. Everything okay in the live stream chat? Slick James Bronson says no sound. Obviously, that would be best if we all just went silent. 50 people watching. Let's hope it isn't completely silent in the live stream. Yeah, we are actually going to go silent when I'm trying to do an audio check. This happened last time, and I absolutely lost my rag. We were doing about a 4-hour after stream trying to figure out why Brian's mic wouldn't work. And every time I'd try and figure it out, I'd go like, well, what I need is somebody to talk through one of the lines. And everybody would go silent. I'd be tearing my hair out, going nuts, going, I just need you to talk. Everyone says it's perfect. Great.
What happened? Did Slick James Johnson, is he in the chat?
Slick James Bronson.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to see Slick James
I can hear
come
on
back.
I can hear on Discord and YouTube.
Yeah, it's all fine. Thanks, Duncan, though, for checking. Trolly troll telling me there's no sound. Just refresh. What's your problem? I went back to Deception Detective to see if... I gotta be honest, I quite liked his Madeleine McCann video, so I thought I'll watch a bit more of that. So I did, and I'm sure others who have gone along to Deception Detective have done the same, right? People have been sent there from here. And then I went and looked through the video that we covered to see what sort of response we'd got to people coming along and going, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, we responded to your video, or covered it in Flat Earth Debate, whatever it is that people were saying. I just wondered, because I hadn't ever done it, like actually gone to the video to see what people have left as comments. I just assume they do, and a few people have told me, like Adam, yeah, I've gone back and my comment's there, and this other comment's there, and the videographers has responded, or maybe with that the king of all something or other, there was a blonde girl that Brian had got in touch with, and he filled me in what the response was, and things like that, right? But in this case, I thought, well, I'll do it. I'll go back to Deception Detective, because it's, as a subject matter, as what he does, it genuinely interests me. That is to say, I like the behaviour panel as much as this guy is completely against that. He doesn't like people analysing people's body language. When his opinion, Deception Detective, that is that you get a lot more leakage out of what they say, because it really is an indicator of what they're thinking because they're saying it, as opposed to where they move their hand. Now, it's a bit oversimplified when he decries that, because body language tends to analyse people's behaviour based on a baseline. How do they normally act and behave? How does this deviate now under this stressful situation where they're being asked a pertinent question? How does it differ? But like I say, he doesn't like that. So I'm interested, right? In other words, I haven't actually subscribed yet. I don't normally subscribe unless there's been maybe half a dozen videos that I've genuinely liked, or if it's a comedy channel, I've got to have laughed at least half a dozen videos before I subscribe. So I hadn't actually subscribed to him yet, but I thought I'll just see what other people have said on that video, because I was watching the rest of it that Brian had recommended yesterday, and there weren't any comments. So I dropped Brian a line, as it was him that recommended the video, and I said, there aren't any comments there. He must have removed them all, which was a little bit surprising, because it was the first time that somebody, while we were covering their video, actually came to the live stream chat. So hence that prompted me to actually go and check. And then Brian pointed out that what he'd done is set some filter that said, don't promote other channels here. Something like that. You're like, oh, right, thanks very much. So we've sent a load of people and a load of love and a load of algorithmic love your way. And your attitude is, don't come and promote your channel. Like, well, no, we covered your video. But there we go. That was his attitude. So on the one hand, I don't blame him. It's like Adam summarises quite frequently. What do we do here? Where's everybody gone from the Discord, from the G Plus server, Neil? Are you poisoning them? Oh, I think there might be something wrong with my G Plus server. Everyone's dropping like flies from it. Hopefully you guys will rejoin in the Discord server. Is there something wrong with G Plus?
No, I got a call from my kid's school.
Oh, it's
and I
just
had to
coincidence,
drop.
fine. No, that's fine, so long as it's just coincidence. It's just everybody disappeared all at once. Obviously, there's no obligation for any of you to be here. But, jeez. Hey, Gene.
Hey, what video did you guys review? I got on the Deceptive guy's channel. It looks pretty interesting, but what video are you referring to? Did you guys review one?
Yeah, how to spot a hoax.
Okay.
But the Deception Detective, like I say, I'm not going to moan, because we even qualified it. We were like, look, we're covering your video, but we're paralleling it with how you pull apart a case that's 15 years old with how you see it as a hoax and how to spot that. And we're in a completely different genre, covering a completely different subject. But where you point out logical fallacies and inconsistencies, we do the same with our subject. Now, that's loose enough for me to go, fair enough. If he sees people coming along and going, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, and it doesn't go to a semi-related true crime video or something like that, you can understand why I'd go, no, I'm not interested. Now, don't get me wrong. If it was Tyson or someone like that I directed my audience to go and offer them algorithmic love, where they've got 3 million bazillion viewers anyway, and then they deleted it, then I'd have something to say about it. I'd be like, why? Now that's becomes a talking point. It's telling when somebody who opposes us or someone we oppose makes a video about the subject matter, we respond to it and highlight the fact that we've responded to it and it's specific to our subject. Then it's outrageous. What are you doing? We've responded to your video. We're letting you know an audience is only assisting you in doing so, but you're going to remove those comments? That's outrageous. When it's Deception Detective, fair play to you. You know, I don't blame you if you want to keep your subject hyper specific. I'd be moaning too. Therefore, I'm not going to moan when I'd prefer that wasn't the case here on this video. I want my audience to be hyper focused on the Madeleine McCann disappearance in this case. So yeah, there's different strokes for different folks when we're responding to these videos. But I'd still recommend him. You know, so far I probably will end up subscribing to him because I have watched probably half a dozen of his videos while I was doing stuff this morning.
I will too, because I watched one of his videos and I agree with you. But there's also, in his mind, the fact that there are so many parallels by the way we're treated and the way people who are asking questions about the Madeleine McCann thing are treated. He could perceive that as being damaging to the case he's making.
Yeah, someone said that yesterday, and I didn't really follow what that meant.
Well, think about it. It's okay to treat flat earthers that way, but not me. Not me.
I still don't. So you're saying because he's that Madeleine McCann detractor asking the awkward questions that might get him ridiculed, it would be detrimental to not fall in line with the general consensus that it's okay to ridicule this particular group of people, but the group I represent that are detractors of the Maddie McCann investigation or the perpetrators, in their view, the parents, we are not allowed to be treated that way. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's holding up a mirror, the introspection part. If you don't look in the mirror in a moment like that, it's probably best if you erase any comment that would even associate you with any kind of introspection like that.
Yes, now it does make total sense. Now you don't need that introspection. You don't even have to assess it, or you don't have to look in that mirror if the mirror's just taken away immediately. Fine. But that is a bit detrimental to him, and there's no need. He's not done anything to us that would warrant any ill feeling towards him, and vice versa, I would bloody hope, because we weren't in any way critical of him, were we? Like, literally, we were very positive.
No, I don't want him to think that I'm attacking him either. It's just, that's how people are, you know? So,
it was useful to be able to draw those parallels between what he's covering and what we're covering. But, you know, there's potentially never going to be any connection made, but there's also no love loss either, I would hope. You know, a disassociation from him because it might hold the mirror up, where it would actually be beneficial. You know, you could probably detect in my voice I was a little bit taken aback when he appeared, because it's like a little bit of a fantasy. come along and criticize us, behavior panel, deception detective, people who are looking at behavior and body language and statement analysis. And are we lying? Is the question. I am more than open to be analysed. Now, don't get me wrong. If people go back 2 years, I'll be like, man, I regret asking them to analyse me when I'm an emotional wreck who clearly just believes Earth is flat and my frustration's pouring out of every single orifice. Yeah, that might not be the greatest thing to be analysed, but I don't care. If they did choose that, I'd still be happy that they did it, because all I'd be worried about is, are they going to assess us for whether or not we're lying? Because we aren't. Nobody is. There might be people who don't know that Earth is flat and truly, wholeheartedly believe it, but it is like, I don't know how you'd phrase this best, but true belief. They do actually believe that. Would be some way, you know, when somebody's like being assessed for a lie that they've told, and they've told it themselves so long, they've started to believe it themselves. Well, you go, well, I don't doubt that they do believe that lie that they've told themselves a million times. Yeah. But it's very different when you say, assess us for whether or not we are, as we are portrayed, con artists, charlatans, scammers who are just here to generate as much cash out of the conspiracy of flat Earth because it's a hot topic, therefore can generate cash in mountains, making it so worthy to go through all the ridicule because that's what this lie is worth. You know, it's like, no. Are we lying or not? Let's see how they get on when they assess us. And they go, no, these people, none of them are lying. And if they're assessing more, hopefully, you know, more recent material, they'll be assessing us for whether or not we're lying when we're detailing stuff that's matter of fact. Yeah, they measure it flat. Yeah, that's how we navigate and negotiate it and chart it and map it and deal with it and build on it. Am I lying? Those are all statements of fact that you can easily verify. What would I need to lie about them for? They're facts. So you're going to get...
Yeah, but...
Go on.
Yeah, but the problem is, as flat earthers, we're lumped in a whole lump with the feast and nonsenses. And there's certain people that behind the paywall, you can get more information. So that doesn't look good.
I don't care about what people do behind paywalls. What are you talking about? Just be on. Just be more.
Well,
blunt, Neil.
if they have a secret knowledge that, you know, maybe if you come here, we got more information for you, then it does look like flat earthers are just out for money.
Very good. That's a good parallel. I can now join from that. Now you've given me a good segue. Okay. So back when I first started and monetized this channel, I built it up enough to have a position to go into a part-time job and do sort of semi-YouTube, semi-working to build the channel. You know, it's touch and go whether or not it would take off. So you kind of have a toe half in. Now, while that was all going on, covering flat Earth meant that I had a criticism from certain people that was, you shouldn't be making money off the truth. You shouldn't monetize the truth. Now, in case you're a newbie here, you should be well aware of my attitude towards this. No, I'm a YouTuber and I make my living from YouTube. The subject I cover is flat Earth. It's just how it is. You don't have to like it. I do a good job of putting across what I think is my research. Actually, everyone around me's research onto the subject, and I do very, very extensive research on this subject. So I see that there's value. Nobody's under any obligation on YouTube to give me any money in the first instance. They may have ads forced down their throat in the last 6 months, but that's YouTube, not me. I've not really got any control over that. The fact they've ramped up the advertising, that is. But again, it doesn't cost you anything beyond your time, which is valuable, and I appreciate that. But you are watching the material in the first place. It is offered up essentially for free. Even when it's behind a paywall for a couple of days, it's still out there eventually for free. Now, that criticism I do feel applies to charlatans and scammers that put nonsense behind paywalls. Because in the same vein, but with a different inflection in my voice, the truth should be free. If it was truthful, and somebody put this to me when I tried to argue the toss for, I think I was fighting in Devil's Advocate for Jaron, believe it or not, and I was like, no, if he wants to put it behind a paywall, it's his prerogative, whatever he can do to wrangle some money out of it for a living when he's putting the work in, that's his obligation to do whatever he likes. Good for him. But the attitude I got back was, when I was playing the Devil's Advocate, was, what if I did that? If I put all my information behind a paywall, now this was members only, nobody from the live could see if they hadn't paid. So I'm just going to clear my throat. So if that was the case, that would be directly comparable. What would be wrong with that? And Adam, in that discussion, piped up and said, wouldn't matter because everyone would just find the information for free anyway. You'd put it out to your paid members. It would permeate its way through to anybody and anybody. It'd just take them a little bit longer to find it amongst the dross. But ultimately, it wouldn't make any difference. The information would still make it through. Now, that's Adam saying, in that instance, it doesn't make any difference. But what if you put lies, deceit, garbage, speculation, and false hope behind a paywall? Then the intonation of the truth, in inverted commas, should be free. And that is to say that it shouldn't be there to close the doors behind people who are giving you money to your bullshit. When if it was real and true, it wouldn't matter that there was a closed door. It's still going to make its way out into the public anyway. But not so if it's being done in a shysterish manner behind closed doors for money, when there's a motivation to keep that locked down. Then the argument of the truth should be free. Well, it will be free eventually if it's the truth. If it's not, then there's something concerning going on behind closed doors. Right, Neil?
Well, hold on a sec, because I don't like the idea that just because you're disseminating the truth, you shouldn't be receiving compensation for your research time or, the time you spend.
Oh, let's clear that up. If I gave that impression, it is absurd. Would you, if you were an American citizen, refuse to pay for drugs because the truth of the cure should be free? Let's see how you get on with that argument when there's massive drug companies pumping huge amounts of money into R&D to cure your ills. Well, they're going to want paying. It's true that it will cure you. What's that? Because it's the truth, you want it for free? I'd rather see you die, would be the attitude of that medicine company.
Right. The thing is, there's this wave through what we call the, I guess, truther community or whatever, the conspiratorial side that asserts that if you get paid for it, then they can somehow attack that instead of the argument, And I don't like that, because the truth is priceless. It's not worthless.
Yeah. Good.
But you know what I mean? Like it doesn't make sense to evaluate whether something is true or not based on whether you had to pay to receive that information.
Yeah, there's no price tag on the information. There's a price tag on the time it takes for me to disseminate it and put a show together on YouTube. That's me seeking monetary reward for doing YouTube. And the subject I have chosen is either going to be good enough for people to be interested, in which case they'll want to support me financially, or it isn't. That's true with anything. If it's the truth about how stone bridges are built and people see value in that, then the person who's disseminated that truth to their audience will receive monetary compensation for their research into stone bridges. But because it's benign, people go, oh, yeah, great. Oh, yeah, I love stone bridges. I used to research them. I did a college course on them. I'm going to give you $5 in Super Chat because I really like this stream. It was really informative. And that's perfectly acceptable. That's how it is. But what we've been lied to and I've been deceived. The criticism didn't come from outsiders or globers or anti-flat earthers, actually. For the most part, it came from insiders. People who had found out Earth was flat and then objected to me telling that truth that they knew to others for money. It never made sense to me why it was I'm not going to say it's all internally, but it was mostly flat earthers that had that criticism. I don't tend to hear it that much these days because I'm so brash with my attitude towards it and open. My lead there was, why would it be internal flat earthers moaning about us earning money off the truth? Or me specifically, you guys don't get paid?
Well, that's what I was getting ready to say is I was taking a drink of coffee when you stopped, but why would it be that someone who is in the topic would begrudge someone who's earning a living from the topic?
And it shouldn't be. And I try to put that sentiment across in a stronger way when I encourage other YouTubers to earn money on YouTube. And I've set that up in a way that will almost be a punchline when I say, I encourage Simon Dan to do the very best he can on YouTube and earn every penny he can out of YouTube. I wish him the utmost of success here as a YouTuber. If he can do well on YouTube, I can do well on YouTube. Because there's millions of YouTubers, and if he's in an arena that's almost closely related to what I do and successful, then there's a small chance that I could follow in his footsteps, which is what it would be as a YouTuber. Me following in his footsteps, he's grown quicker than I have. Great, so we can see growth in this area then. Don't get me wrong, I'm not unrealistic that I would have to start bashing flat earthers and anti-flat earther and make crap videos about Gates or about making cups of tea. But, you know, there's only a certain amount of steps you can follow in sometimes. But either way, I wish him every success. There is no ill will towards Simon Dan making money on YouTube. My ill will would be towards the algorithm that's directing people away from me and towards him, but that's not Dan's fault. Good for you, mate. You found a niche where I didn't. I thought I'd find it in flat earth, and you did in flat earth. Isn't that weird? But there we go. That's not his fault. Good for you, mate. Squeeze every little bit of juice you can out of it. But no, internally from other flat earthers, you shouldn't be making money off this. It's the truth. Okay, let's make it a bit more contentious as we were talking about Deception Detective. He's talking about the potential death / missing child case. Madeleine McCann. Should he monetize his channel? Should he sell his cards, his deception cards? He's making money off the... I don't need to go on. Isn't it obvious that that would be far more worthy of criticism? No, it's not. No. He's done research and he just wants to monetize his time. And you're interested in that subject matter and it's tragic. Yeah, it is. Yeah, the two aren't related. He's just monetized his time on YouTube.
Yeah, when a flat earther makes that aspersion, it really, to me, it seems like they're trying to devalue the truth, you know, and it doesn't make any sense, you know, because people go to college to learn about the ball. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to get degrees to stare at lights in the sky and make up stories, you know, but somehow we're the bad guys out of, or well, you in this case, because like you said, the panel doesn't do this for money.
But I definitely do. So please smash the super chat, hit the PayPal link. There's a Ko-Fi link that's just been added. I've got all the means of e-begging that I could possibly want at my disposal. So please use them. 81 people watching. More importantly than that, though, and I do mean that sincerely, please share the show. Smash that share button. Get this show out far and wide. The standards are going up. The quality's going up. Even the Adam Meakin is here. I mean, what other reason could you possibly want to share the show than Adam Meakin's arrival?
Let's clarify. Some people need to be paid.
Are we getting paid?
No, absolutely not.
Oh,
Get out. How dare you even
Okay.
suggest it? I welcomed you a moment ago, and you treat me like this.
oh. Well, unreasonable. I'm only 4 beer mats per day.
Sorry, were you talking flagons?
No, just beer mats. Don't actually have to be any booze at all, just beer mats. That was the only time I've been paid. Only transfer fee in football I ever commanded was 4 beer mats. I assume we're still on.
By the way, I received my pay.
It's not done.
I received my pay from Nathan.
He's not
Thank you
quite
very
done.
much.
He's not quite done.
I said I assume we're still on domestic debate then, if that's what we're talking about.
What's domestic debate mean?
Orwin and the handbagging that's...
No, that was all dealt with in the pre-show, actually.
Oh, good.
No, it wasn't, Adam. It was not.
Apparently, it was not dealt with in the pre-show, Adam. So there you go. You learn and live.
Funny. All right.
I just see
That's
Arwin
real
as
cool.
lashing out. Let's just rehash what we did in the pre-show. I'm being disagreed with because I've got a bias, because I've got a friend in need, as far as I am concerned. And I am prepared to look past his lashing out and see the actual being yelled into the camera, I need money bit. and nothing more
Yeah.
in this instance.
Yes, but it's
Figures you would see it that way.
Well, maybe I've got my rose-tinted glasses on for a friend of almost 10 years. Who knows? Maybe that's tarnishing my view.
I have friends for 20 years, and I never, ever said the things that happened said. I don't care how much I was hurting, and they never said the things that was said to me when they were hurting, as if it's my responsibility to put food on somebody else's table when I have children. Come on, let's call real what real is.
Yeah, sometimes you lose
That's
track of
not real.
Sometimes you sink so low that all semblance of reality, you grip on it, slips. And somebody who's just told you off for being a certain way escalates into being the reason that you're hungry. And then that devolves into things that you may regret later. I can see past all of that because I know Arwin well enough to see past it all. Now, some people might be listening going, I can't believe he's not fuming mad at some of the things Arwin said. Well, that's how sometimes it is with people that you know well. You can look past certain disgusting behaviour. And as for your comparison to a friend you knew for 20 years, was it Arwin?
I sat there last night and watched
I know I'm longer.
Owen's show, and it was painful because I could see my friend in pain. I could see what he's lashing out at, and yeah, there are points where no, I'm not angry at him. I was disappointed and upset for him because I can see how much pain he's in, and I'll also mitigate for the stupid things he said in these shows, which, because I do know him, I don't believe he means for 1 minute. And
what bullshit he's saying the same thing today. I can't.
Neil, please, Neil. He's not quite done. He will be shortly.
I am also appreciative that when
we'll get to you. Oh, no,
Adam,
just one sec, Adam. Sorry to interrupt you also. Jimmy, yes, we will get to you in... sorry, Johnny, we will get to you in a second. Promise.
Okay. So I also appreciate, personal experience, that when we're hurt inside a lot, we can often spit out with venom and say vile things that fundamentally we don't need. We're just expressing how much somebody who is their friend has hurt them as well. That's what I've seen, and
very well put.
I'm hoping Owen calms down and we get a chance to have a chat. What I will say is I've not made any attempt to speak to Owen at the moment. I think he needs a little bit of time, not patronising.
Yes.
And if that means he spits more bile, I'm so happy for it, because I know when we do calm down and we've had minutes to breathe, we are friends and we will talk to each other in a civil way and cover this topic. We're done with that. Yeah.
Well put. Go ahead, Neil.
Neil left.
Oh, okay.
All right, let me jump in.
Just before you do, Righteous. Just 1 sec. Go ahead, right, Johnny.
Okay, I was on the show for a few minutes ago, and I was talking with Arvin, and it was absolutely clear that he wants $500 to come on the show again. That's absolutely clear. And he said he has been on the show for a long time, many hours a day, and he's not getting anything. He's losing money, and he's absolutely broke. And also that he's not given any time on the show. It's 99% of the talking time. He doesn't get any time to say anything before he's shutting down. That is absolutely... I think that's quite right. He doesn't have the right...
before you cast your opinion, Johnny, sorry to interrupt you. Right, what you're saying is Arwen's got grievances that could easily be addressed by us should he discuss them with us. And I would absolutely give him all the time he needed to go through any of those grievances, like I have attempted over the last few days to do with him. I just don't want to do it by a mediator. No offence to you, right? Arwen's a big boy. He can have these discussions with us. I've tried to, and he's shut down. Now, as I said earlier, and it follows on from what Adam's just said, Johnny, there would have come a point where I'd have had to have asked him politely to step back for a week or two, had his behaviour not directed at me, just how he currently is, in those circumstances at that point, not directed at me, but the exact same behaviour, that needed reining in, and I think he's now gone, here's the reason, I need money. Now he's chosen me to blame it on, and good. If that makes it easier for him to e-beg, fine, I don't care, right? But his general attitude is now directed at me. I'm not going to suddenly go, listen to the words he's saying about me and focus only on them. No. Nothing has changed. Now, I appreciate that when circumstances change in a show like this, for Arwen also, older grievances about the amount of airtime he's going to get will also resurface, but they all need to be discussed as adults. Now, if you're a newbie and you're listening, you go, what's the cause of this? Well, the cause is really simple and may seem too small to have caused it, but it has. Me, in 2024, with discussion from everybody on the panel, including Arwen, have decided to massage our discussion points such that we move forward on the front foot, describing how Earth is measured flat, as an opener. Now, as that turns out, it's less conducive with things like Baldwin. Just be blunt, that's how it is. Now, when that's come up, it's escalated the downward spiral that Arwen's been on for a bit of a time now, let's be honest, and he's then manifested that into blaming me for it and pouring his innermost out, alongside the main point, which is just asking for money, basically. Now, I get that everyone around me wants to focus on the surface level stuff that is spewing at me. And at this stage, there's only a couple of people, John and Adam, that can see through that. Welcome back, Brian.
Okay, but can I respond to?
You can, Johnny, but just let Righteous get his quick point in, because he's been waiting to make something quick, and then you can go after Righteous, Johnny.
Okay, no problem.
Right. We couldn't make out Adam for most of the conversation. It sounded like you guys were talking to dead air for a while.
Right. Okay, looks like I've got a weekend of faffing with audio. No worries.
Maybe he needs a new microphone, like Brian.
Oh, shut up, Arwen. Get stuff. Oh, it's not Arwen, it's Brian. Yeah, Johnny.
Funny. Okay, now I can say it. But okay, I think he's in a psychos. It's a psychos that is in, and he's not getting well for himself or his living. Yeah, okay. And I will also understand that what you're saying, Nathan, absolutely. But that is the problem is maybe you're too harsh. Yeah, maybe you're too harsh. But I asked Arwen today, maybe you have to change something. Just like you were saying, Nathan, you have to take in the new, can I say formula? It's not the right to say. Yeah, the Earth is flat, it's measured flat, and you have to take in what we are trying to let go through. But I asked him if he was able to change his show and maybe interact with the Discord, take in a roundtable, or make some changes. I'm just giving an example. It doesn't have to be that. And then he said, no, I don't want to fight against Nathan or make a show. I will not do anything. I just want my 500, then everything will be fine. That is psychos. He was not able to discuss any changes, what is happening for the moment, why he's in this situation, and so on and so on. So I'm absolutely with you, your analysis, Nathan, about this situation. So what can I say? I'm just sorry for all of this, and that I want to point out so far.
What do you think, Adam? Or Brian? Anybody but John?
What you want me to
whipping boy.
say? He's looking for $500. I want my $500. Why, he's unhappy. That has nothing to do with anyone here.
Brian,
I'm sorry now.
Just 1 second, Brian. Just 1 sec. Is that any clearer for you guys for Brian?
Well, you call Arwin your whipping boy. I mean, is that a kind thing to be doing?
Of course, at the moment I want to ask if the audio for Brian's clear. Elder Bear wants to step in. Sorry, go again. I wasn't expecting that as a reply, so do you want to repeat that, Elder Bear? I didn't take in what you just said at all. I'm sorry.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me in my mic?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
I'm away. I'm away from home.
Something about whipping, something sounded.
Well, you called him. You called. No, yes. Well, you called Arwin your whipping boy the other day.
There's various whipping boys.
Yeah.
It's just
our
way of describing the last person who came in, really. Arwin hasn't been the whipping boy for quite some time, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I find this kind of attitude in this community quite a lot, really. People being mean and nasty to each other. And I don't find that. Sorry, hang on. I don't find that me. I don't find that, I wouldn't have expected to find that when I was looking for some truth. That was what I was find shocking, really. So where was I, me?
Backstabby, snidey stuff. I've got no desire to engage with people like this. If there's a point in terms of discussing what we're doing and justifying it, fine.
No, well,
but when people who are probably culpable for Arwin's state of mind more than what's trying to be dumped on us, people like this that behave in his chat and do things like these things, they're more culpable for Arwin's negativity at the moment than most. So I don't know about you, Nathan. Anything this guy says, I'm not.
Are you blaming me?
I also blame you.
No desire.
I blame you too.
To you about my friend.
You're blaming me too.
When you don't know either of us.
I can see what happens to human beings. I don't need to know you.
And incorrectness. So I'm just making it clear.
Come on. I don't need to know people to recognise, bullying.
I do want to hear it,
that you're an emotional vampire.
Adam. I don't want this to descend so quickly into everyone talking through each other. So as much as it might irritate you, I do want to hear the end of Elder Bear's criticism. He's saying, I don't need to know you to know people to understand this situation. That was what I heard from him, but then you started rumpusing him a bit, and it was you, so I'm going to stop you first so I don't seem unfair. Go ahead, Elder Bear. I heard half of it. You don't need to know us to know people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't need to know all the details to see people getting hurt, that's for sure. I was kind of trying to I thought maybe I should build some bridges a bit, maybe.
You're all right, thanks.
But let's not jump on.
Why would we want a bridge with you, pal?
You might not.
Let's not do that.
It's a bit of an apology. Maybe.
Apologise, then I will be quiet and I will listen to your apology.
Am I? Well.
Okay, so you want to help?
I suppose saying.
Sorry, Elder Bear, my bad.
Well,
you're saying you want to help?
I don't know. I'm just, hang on. You've got this tagline that you said, it's for the new people who come along, and I am one of those people. I'm pretty new to this. I was on a journey.
That's a lie. Based on what you told me last time, based on your criticism for the length of time that you'd been watching. Now you're claiming
about 15 or 16 months I've been looking at this. So that's pretty new.
Kind of new. So the moment I call you on how not new you are, you qualify the length of time as 16 months as being new, making that a blatant lie.
Yeah, but you've been here 10 years.
16 months isn't new by any standard.
I think it is I think it is in terms of the people that I see here. That's what I mean.
It's my 16-month newborn baby. Yeah, gotcha.
Okay. But this is it. What you're doing now is what I witness going on in the community, and I think it's a bit sad. But I know I can. The apology is that I guess I threw a grenade in the room the other day or something. But It was only came from questions.
I'm still lost as to what the apology is, Elder Bear. I'd like to move forward.
Well, that's it.
If a man's going to apologise, I need to know what the apology is, so whether or not I can be gracious enough to accept it. So you recognise you've done some bad behaviour. You just clarify what that behaviour is, and then maybe as a gentleman I can accept the apology once I know what the apology is.
Yeah, who what name are you?
You don't want to apologise. You want to get to know me a bit. Are you
Refracted Curvature or Adam? Well, I don't know who
does it matter with regards to the point that was being made? You're offering an olive branch, and I'm trying to accept the olive branch, but I'm asking you, could you clarify what's on this branch and what you are apologising for?
Well, because, I seem to have caused, a bit of chaos, so I'm apologising for causing the chaos.
Okay.
And some condolences for all the kind of, the fallout from it for you and across the community that seems to have happened.
Are you taking ownership of that?
Apology, but no, don't fly your ego, man. This has got nothing to do with you.
I'm not here for ego.
You might wish it was, but genuinely, no. It's got nothing to do with you.
Yeah. But, this has reverberated for me through my life in other places in the community. And, I can see what effect it has. And,
it's affected you enough to maybe give Arwen some money to help him out of this?
I was going to get to that. That's what he's really.
Well, okay. Well, I haven't listened. I spoke to Arwen, but I haven't got enough money to send him. I mean, I've heard of a few people who've said they have sent money through you, Nathan. Even as much as €500, I heard. So, if there is any money, maybe you'll forward it to him. But I don't know about that. He doesn't know anything about measuring the Earth flat.
Now,
he doesn't know anything about
that. You're now being trolled.
I heard what he just accused me of. Yes.
Yeah. What a shit house.
What a shit.
This is why I don't want to talk to people. This is how scummy they are, listeners.
Total scum.
You're just discussing Arwen.
We're going to shut that line down, Adam, because he's just accused me of scamming $500 out of somebody that sent me money for Arwen and implied that I'm keeping money. He's essentially accusing me of a crime now. That's what he's actually doing. While I'm laying down what he's just accused me of, he's now rumpusing the Discord line, so no one in Discord can hear me pointing out what he's just levelled subtly at my door. No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, I haven't.
What do you mean? I didn't accuse you of a crime. What are you talking about?
You just accused me of keeping $500 that I was sent for Arwen. That's what you just.
No, I'm just saying. Some people have told me that they sent money. I don't know whether that's true. I don't know at all.
Then you put an amount on it.
Because
then you put an amount on it and claimed it had come to me. That's what you actually did.
Well, that's what I was told. So
really? So now you're going to reiterate the claim again based on what you were told rather than denying the outrageous claim that isn't true that you've just laid at my door? You're a scumbag. What you're here to do is cause trouble, right? In this instance. Not in the grandiose scale that you feel you as a newbie who's only just got here 16 months ago has taken ownership of some of the chaos you feel that you are attributable. You're not. You're a nobody. And you're pathetic.
Yeah, I know.
Good. I'm glad you know you're pathetic because you're about to get removed from this conversation, Elder Bear. How dare you come and accuse me of retaining money that's due Arwen? Nobody's giving me any money that's due Arwen. How dare you? What a prick. Get lost. Get out. Come back when you're less of a lying scumbag. People have told you my ass.
Well, that's a shame right there, because we were actually having a constructive conversation about how we could help Arwen and the ways we can approach him, and pretty much showing Arwen that we cared. And then someone like that uses that as an excuse to try to sow discourse is horrible behavior.
Yeah, but why aren't we responding to a video and talking about this privately and not talking about it on the show?
No, this is good. Right.
I agree. This is good.
Exemplifies to the listeners, the psychological attacks that Arwen is under constantly from these people. And this person, Elder, we one of them. So his snidey, double-handed insults in here will be just as much applied on the other side. And go and look at Arwen's chat. I feel really... Yeah, Listen to what they're doing. Listen to how they're trying to break us up. Listen to the tactics they'll use. Listen how they try to pretend they're decent human beings. And within 2 sentences of making that they're a decent human being claim, they demonstrate to you all what shitty, scumbaggy people they actually are, where their morals lie, what they're really here for. A great example of Brian. This is what we put up with, people. You know,
what else
this
did
is
we
what
find out?
Arwen
Again,
put up with.
in his words as he spewed, lots of people are contacting Arwen. All right, so lots of people have heard him crying out for money and saying how broke he is and how poor and hungry he is, and read the comments underneath his GoFundMe that says he's poor and hungry and he's just spiraling into debt. They've read that and they're going to help him because that's what he's actually asking for. Help. Now, as we have done, we can look past the surface level spew that we know is Arwen, especially when everyone knows that that's pretty much what Arwen is, and that's Arwen. What, so when it's directed at me with my name attached, suddenly it means so much more? No, he's got a GoFundMe going because he's broke as all hell and spiralling into debt. As am I. I'm in massive amounts of debt. Yeah, most people are. Now, at the moment, I don't have any actual cash to give Arwen, so what I actually had to do yesterday was appeal to my wife to, admittedly it's both of ours, but use the credit card to give him a tenner. And I'm like, can I give him a tenner? I don't actually have any cash to give him. I'm overdrawn. But he's crying out for money. Did I go, did you hear what Arwen said about me to my wife? What I did was I hugged her and said, I'm really glad I've got you in my life. I'd be going as nuts as Arwen if it wasn't for you here. That's what I did.
Nathan, can I say something in between? Exactly what you're saying, the same thing. On the show, he was saying that he's sick and tired of seeing the smileys and people that are saying, yeah, I'm with you and that. He doesn't want that. He just wants his fucking $500 that he's saying. He will never go on the show.
Please don't swear.
If he don't, sorry. He will never go on the show if he not get this 500. If he gets his 500, he will go on your show. That's what he said. And he's sick and tired of...
I get it. It's just an excuse. He just wants money. Now, he's been screaming out for PayPals and e-begging his little heart out. And what does he get as a result? Because it's not an effective way of trying to generate money. It's just not an effective way, and I've tried to tell him that. But again, he's shut down when I've done that. I'm trying to help him. And I don't want to labour this in terms of what I'm doing for Arwen, because it'll turn into that if I'm not careful, right? I am going to shout out Super Chats, though, ironically. Shout out to Billy Philly, 22. Can we move on to the next topic? Oh, absolutely, Billy Philly. I really hope this doesn't last much longer. Also, thank you for the Super Chat, though. Thank you, really, really appreciate the support. Also, shout out to... Where are we? Misfit, FB 850. Thank you for the Super Chat. Good morning, Nathan and panel. Get rid of Adabear. He's annoying. Already done. Way ahead of you. Thank you for the Super Chat. Yeah, so with Arwen, I've reached out to him. He's not using an effective tool of e-begging, and he's done it and done it and done it and done it, and he's still spiraling into debt. So now he's done a campaign. Yeah? Well, good. I'm going to support that campaign. If you're in my mod, if you're one of my mods in my chat now, please can you post the campaign that Arwen's put? If you read the comments underneath, what is actually been asked to write by Give Send Go, it says, what are you asking for and why are you asking for it? And he's put, I'm asking for money because I'm poor. He doesn't mention my name once in that actual box. Because that's what he's actually appealing for. Yeah? That's it. It is that simple. And Johnny summed it up. He's just saying, give me my effing money. It's not your effing money. You need to give good content and people will support you for it. Very difficult when you're spiraling the drain and looking at debt.
Nathan.
Yes.
All that aside, you've spent the best part of an hour of the live show talking about it, and a lot of yesterday talking about it. It's like Arwen's issues are becoming your show. Arwen needs to have.
Let him go, because I'm going to agree with him, Adam. But you can disagree in a minute. Go ahead, Adam.
Arwen needs to have a look in the mirror, right? Just as much as he needs money. You can't carry on a certain way. You can't be saying the things he's saying concerning you or other people. You can't do that and expect everything to be okay the next day. You can't do that. And now I defended Arwen up to a point yesterday because I was saying a lot of people are picking on him. Yeah, he's the same person as was around 4 years ago. But certain things you can't just look past. Either way, your show is being taken up by this interpersonal stuff, and it shouldn't be.
Well, we've spent an hour on this, so I'm going to look past that comment completely and sing you a song. Gonna make a change for once in my life. No, 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 no,
Okay,
no,
stick to you.
Okay. You're not a singer.
No.
No, I know. No, you're not so bad. You're not really not so bad. You're holding the line.
Say I'm not a singer because I can't do Michael Jackson. Come on, if you're going to try it.
No, you're not trying to be a Michael Jackson either. Yeah, I know. But I'm trying to say is that he's not willing to work for it. I was talking with him. I was chatting with him. And he said, but it's a work. Everything is a work. Everybody has to work and have to do some effort to get there that they want to be. And you have to make some changes. You have to jig it too, and so you are on the place. Jigging the place, the change. I don't know how to say it, but you know that. But I think you know what I'm trying to say.
Make that
everybody
change.
Okay, exactly.
Right,
but
yes, I get what you're saying. No. I just agree with you because it sounds like I'm just mocking you. I'm not. Yes, I do agree. And it is work in the eyes of other people, except me. Because as much as I'm talking in the context of I want to make a living, I love what I do. I was asked at the beginning of the show, what's on the agenda? Do you just want to wrap up early because it's the weekend? And I'm like, no, I'm knackered because we've been doing 4-hour shows day after day after day because it's been really good. Now I'm absolutely exhausted, but does that mean I don't want a 4-hour show today if the content's really good? Hell no, I love what I do. So therefore it's hard to describe it as work. Now, people, when I say that to them, go, yeah, but you're doing this and you're doing that and the other. And when I was having that conversation, literally having this exact conversation last night, I asked the question while I was in a chat about Arwin. If this was work, the chat I was having in that moment, right? Because by that context, it's like, well, I'm having this conversation with you because I want to. I want to sort things out with Arwin. I want the show to move smoothly. Therefore, this is work, right? But when I'm in a group chat with people that, as far as they're concerned, they're kicking back and they're just having a nice laid back chat with their friends, me being one of them, and we're happening to be talking about Arwin in that moment, it's like, yeah, but that's directly related to the show, therefore I could label this work. But suddenly everyone shifts uncomfortably in their seat, don't they? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and therefore I also was saying that maybe you have to make some change. You have to make some effort to get where you want to be, and that is a work. It is work, I say it with Arwin. No, I just want to do what I am doing and give me the money. You just want it to be like it is, and it will not make any changes. And I'm sorry for that. That's not good for Arwin. It's not the right way to do it. Everybody has to bend over and do it the way it works. You cannot just say, I will never change. I will just do it like that. It doesn't matter if it's not working and I am not getting any salt in my food or whatsoever. That is wrong attitude.
It's going to feel real good.
You have to work.
On. Make that change.
And everybody that is listening to this, everybody has to know they have to. That's the part of your life. If you don't get all of the money in the birth and you have a rich father and they will take care of you. But if that is the issue, then you will never be your own. You will always being somebody else taken care of. So that's not a good thing. It's much more proud if you do it on your own. And that's a good feeling. And if you do it on your own, then you have a good feeling and you're on the right path and absolutely the right way.
Okay, we're going to go to the chat in a minute. So quick shout out to the last super chatter, which is Mike 808. He says, I agree with moving on. I'll send more once moving on to FED. Yeah, we will.
Yeah, why not? It's we don't have to talk about it anymore. We can go to something else.
We're going to get to the
just
chat.
Say good morning.
Arwin has extensive knowledge of this topic, so he just needs to put himself out there with his PayPal link underneath and Go out there and debate people. There's plenty of people out there to debate and who will debate you. Just put yourself out there with your PayPal link and be honest and say you appreciate any contributions that if people benefited from the information you've given them. Use a skill set that you have.
Right, indeedy. Yeah, I can probably
Can I
agree
make
that
one
Arwen
thing?
doesn't want to hear it at the moment, but yeah, we're going to move on. So I'm going to start saying hello to a few of you in the chat. Shout out to Groovy and Tackmind, Elbow Spirit, and who else we got? Steve Bowman says at Groovy, I have tried to explain this group that if they claim elevation angles create right triangles, then they have to claim they know the distance to the star. They don't get it and just strawman me. Okay. Right.
No.
I'm going to cover that, actually, Steve, if it's good by you. I'm going to chat a few more people. The Way the Truth, good to see you. Tarek, nice to see you. 7Moxie7, nice to have you in the chat. Truth Matters, nice to see you. Damn it, all bodies of water are in motion and not flat, he says. Cool. Shout out to Daniel Samaniego. He's already given us a super chat. Did Aiden get timed out or just blocked me? Ha ha ha. I like to see some discussion going on in the chat. It's good to see. Thanks for posting Arwen's link there, Adam. Really appreciate it. Groovy, good to see you. Uncle Ben, nice to have you in the chat, my friend. OBE Lines, woohoo! Subscribe today to OBE Lines. He's a YouTube videographer. Check him out. Who else we got in there? Divergent Droid doing his thing. Right, let's scroll back up to that comment. From, who is it from? I've lost it now. There's something about elevation angle argument straw man. I can't find the exact comment now, but I'll do it from. Oh, here we found it. Right. Go on. At height of stars.
It's talking about the straw man of the opposition that when we say, right, this is what they say. The flat earthers say that an elevation angle is a right angle triangle. So that means because with elevation angles you are using the length of sides and the internal angles, then you must know the height of the star. Now, for a start, if we're talking about elevation angles, let's just say to a lighthouse, right? What we only knew the distance to the lighthouse.
Sorry, can someone dig out that definition of elevation angle that specifically details out it's not referring to the height? Go ahead, Brian. I just want to have that to hand once you've finished. Go ahead.
Yes. So let's just say there's a tower in the distance, or a mountain, or a lighthouse. Now, let's just say we're using a lighthouse. Let's just say we don't know the height of the lighthouse, but we know the distance to the lighthouse, for instance, right? Then that distance, based on if it's angular size, will give us a height, blah, blah, blah. But when it comes to celestial navigation, we are not looking for the height because we only need the degrees, because we have already established, right? Because we're not using the right angle triangle in the same way as we do with terrestrial objects. It's been already established that 69.04 horizontal statute miles butted up end to end, right, makes up 1 degree of angular change to the celestial bodies. That was established with Polaris, and it was found to be true for the rest of the stars. So now that we know that, all we need to know, right, is the angle, right? So let's say our angle is 45 degrees. To make it really simple, our angle to Polaris is 45 degrees or whatever star. That means there's a 45-degree deficit when we subtract that from 90. We multiply that 45 degrees by 60, because what we have done is we have divided the 69.04 statute miles into 60 minutes of degree, because there's 60 minutes in a degree. So that 1 degree of 69 horizontal miles terrestrial change, distance change for the 1 degree of change to Polaris or whatever star, that is broken up into 60, divided into 60, because the 60, because there's 60 minutes in a degree. So that means that there's a 1.1508 ratio, right, of statute miles to nautical miles. So every nautical mile is 1.1508 horizontal statute miles. That's what it is. And we're only solving for the distance when we're using terrestrial celestial bodies. We are not solving for the internal angles, length of sides. We're not doing any of that. We are getting the elevation angle. We're subtracting it from 90, and then multiplying the what's left by 60, which is 60 minutes per degree. So that would be 60 nautical miles. And we know that it's going to be matching because we know what the distance is for 1 degree in horizontal statute miles. That's what we're doing. So what they try to do is strawman us. 1 second, I'm almost there. Strawman us, right, and say you must have the height of the celestial bodies because you say you're using right-angle triangles. We do not say we're using right-angle triangles. Elevation angles, right, terrestrial or celestial, are defined as right-angle triangles. We're not saying it. Celestial navigation say it. Astronomy say it. Anyone who uses elevation angles, they're using or depression angles, they're using or zenith angles, they're using right-angle triangles.
I
want to answer you there. We are talking about the 60 nautical miles. Every degree, that's 1 minute of 360 degrees circle. That you have to talk about, so people understand what we are saying, is the nautical miles of 360 degrees is about circle. It doesn't have, they say, oh, then it has to be on a circle.
Not about circles.
Yeah.
Well,
but the people,
we're gonna get lost in the weeds, right? Just gonna do a couple of things, right? When you're not talking, Johnny, if you can just pop yourself on a local mute, just cutting your line a little bit. Thank you. Shout out to Duncan McLeod, who says, I put a link in the Discord main chat. Can we critique this? It's a YouTube short. Absolutely, yes. If someone can transfer that into Master B, I'll pick it up and we'll cover it in a minute. Thank you for the super chat, Duncan. We will summarise this minus from 90 times by 60 co-altitude to acquire GP. That's what Brian's detailed, but he's given all of the information in terms of the reasoning behind the 60, right? The nautical mile distance is what you're trying to acquire with co-altitude when you minus from 90 times by 60 to give you the distance along the flat ground to the point below the star. That's the main point when someone uses this straw man. What are you trying to achieve when you measure this angle? Johnny, can you just pop yourself on local mute, please? You're cutting the line to Discord.
It's what are you doing and what assumptions are you making? And when they throw this triangle, right angle triangle business, they assume, which I don't dispute, there is a right angle triangle. The question is, what technique are you going to use to resolve the side lengths? Now, if we were to use trigonometry, we are a piece of data short to be able to apply it to do trigonometry, something we would do with terrestrial navigation, what Brian alluded to with the lighthouse, but we're not. We're not doing trigonometry. We're not doing terrestrial. We're doing celestial navigation. Because of what Brian's outlined, all we need to know is we've got the right angle triangle and we can solve the base length, i.e. the distance to the GP, using celestial navigation, not trigonometry. Both have a right angle triangle. The implications for solving and the uses are very different in the techniques of trigonometry and celestial navigation.
Objection. I got to get this out of. It's been driving me nuts. The point is not about the calculation or whatever maths you use. The point is about the initial measurement requiring Earth to be a flat baseline to acquire it. Now, the other stuff is relevant.
Adam. Go ahead, John.
The other stuff is relevant if you want to debate celestial navigation, or if you want to. But if you believe that line is curved, you're not allowed in that discussion.
Yeah, every bit of the discussion. Yes, every bit of the above discussion required Earth to be flat in terms of the measurement in the first instance. The first instance measurement is a flat baseline with an angle to the star, regardless of what you derive in terms of height or GP. Height being not conducive with a curve either, you will be measuring Earth as flat. Correct. Most important point. Thank you, John. Go ahead, Adam. Hold on, Chocolate.
Okay, Nathan, I will try to say it very, very easy and slowly and relaxing.
Can you go after Adam, Johnny? Can you go after Adam, though?
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Adam. Then Chocolate, then Johnny. Go ahead.
I was just trying to reiterate the point to the question from chat. I hope that gets it in terms of what why we are both using triangles, while they are right-angled triangles, why that principle is important for both trigonometry, but also for celestial navigation, where we use the right-angled triangle, Steve. Yeah, that's why we can say we use right-angled triangles, why they can't argue it, make the point of distinction between the two techniques for solving the side lengths.
Go ahead.
Now,
Chocolate. Hold on, Adam. Sorry, there's just a bit of a queue forming. Go ahead, Chocolate, then Johnny.
Is it? Can I say something about it now?
After Chocolate.
No, really quick. I was just going to say. Oh, I'm sorry, Johnny. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, wouldn't that question just be straight diversionary tactic? Because isn't the main problem for them that there's a right angle triangle at all?
Yes. He did identify
So,
it. The super chatter did identify it as a straw man. So yes, absolutely. And I think the gripe from the super chatter is that the main focus becomes that their tenacity in keeping that as the focus. You can't get the height. You can't get the height. Because if they can move past the triangle that they can't get on a globe, then they're arguing about something inconsequential. There's a less painful loss at the end of that. Go ahead, Johnny.
There is.
Okay, that I want to talk about, and I will also point out that I also forget always the circle of equal latitude. But I will come to that later. What we are talking about? We are talking about if you have a 50-degree sighting of the sun, that's the elevation angle, and that is above the so-called horizon. Then you will get the right angle triangle from the GP. And GP is that you get from the elevation angle, and then you have the baseline, and then you have from the horizon is the line is make the triangle that will make a right angle triangle. And if you get that right angle triangle, now you can subtract from the 90, that's 50, and you get 40 times 60 nautical miles, that I was trying to say before is 1 degree of 360 degrees circle. Therefore, you have to use 60 nautical miles to do that. What you get then is 2,400 nautical miles away to the away from the GP. GP is the point in the middle, and you get 2,400 miles around the GP, around it. That is circle of equal altitude. Just think about it.
Yeah, it's flat.
That means it's flat.
Yeah,
it's measured flat. And I will also say, I'm not finished.
The only bit that you got wrong, they're going to call you on, is to the GP, but you're trying to acquire the GP.
But I'm just saying that you can do it several times from one point to other point. You can do it later, and you're sailing, and you can do that. And you are getting this thousand of miles that is measured flat. And then you get multiple 1,000 miles that is measured flat again and again and again. That is impossible if you're on a globe.
Sorry to interrupt you. What do you do, just out of interest, Johnny?
I don't have to talk about the globe. I have to say that the Earth is measured flat, and that's it's a fact. And
what do
telling you how it is done.
I'm talking to you personally, Johnny. What do you do?
What do I do after this? I got it.
No. I mean, a little birdie told me of your relevance in this subject, which I was unaware of till last week. Maybe that'll jog your mind for what I'm trying to get out of you in terms of what you do or what you did and how that's relevant to this subject.
Okay, it's just breaking up just a little bit, and maybe it's just for me. But what I'm saying is, if you get circle of equal latitude of 2,400 miles from the point you are, that is that means the Earth is measurable flat. It cannot be something else in that area that you are on.
Right.
I don't have to say anything more about it.
Well, I was going to ask, have you? I'll rephrase it. Have you ever done this, Johnny?
Have I done this?
Yes.
Yes, I have done this. I done this. I was very, very young, and that was part of my education because I got caffeine excrement in Iceland, and
you mumbled. Once more time. I didn't hear you mumbled. Say it again. You got what?
My excrement, caffeine excrement that I got in Iceland because I was fishing captain, and everybody has to be able to use sextant, and that was part of the training. Therefore, I know what I'm talking about.
So you were proficient in using the sextant so that potentially when you were out as a ship's captain, you didn't die at sea when measuring Earth flat. You could avoid that, correct?
Yes, exactly. And also on the chart, I know the Earth is not. We never take in any curvature in our measurement. Only declaration. That is the only thing that we have to take in. No curvature.
In case the audience isn't aware, the last time Johnny was here, we were at each other's throats because he was punting ether with lots of nonsensical buzzwords. Just so you know who he is.
So the audience realizes what Johnny just said is that what Johnny just said, Nathan eventually got him to say it, is that Johnny basically had to learn how to use the sextant because he was a fishing boat captain in Iceland. So he needed to learn it, and that was part of his training. He said that all fishing boat captains at the time, at least at the time, I don't know about now, had to learn how to use the sextant. So Johnny has done this many times, I'm sure.
Right, I'm going to do a couple of quick shout-outs. So shout-out to Billy Philly 22. So shout-out to Divergent Droid, the real MVP. Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Really appreciate it. Also, shout-out to Mike808. Oh, it's jumped off my screen. Thanks, appreciate you. I don't know what that is. Can anybody tell me what that is? Is it just a missing sticker that hasn't quite shown up on my screen properly? Something after what he says. Thanks, appreciate you. And then there's some little thing that I can't quite make out. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, Mike. Okay, we're going to cover a video. So, this has been sent to us by one of the super chatters, whose name I can't remember now. Who was it? I think it was Duncan. Was it Duncan McLeod? I think. Let's just have a look. Put a link in Discord in the main chat. Can we critique this now? It's a YouTube short from Duncan McLeod, right? Indeed, it was. So, let's just make my screen look a little prettier by getting rid of Discord so we can see this. And the videographer is... I don't know, because... it's just gone off screen and doesn't work the way that normal YouTube does. Ugh. If that's the video. No, doesn't want to play now. Let's just see if I can get it to come up again. There we go.
You believe the Earth is flat?
Yeah, I believe the Earth is flat.
To imply that the Earth...
That's a problem already. Go on, whoever that was from G+.
Adam tried 3 times to get your attention there. Did you not hear him?
No, because I had the line on mute while I lined up a video. Go on, Adam. I couldn't hear a word you were saying because I was lining things up.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Hear me now. Sorry about that. I thought we might have got. It was just while you was lining up, I wanted to just add a little bit to the comment and link back to what John said. They are straw manning, and there's a reason. It's like when they mention boats falling over the edge. One of the things we found out, they'll try and hold you to a height of the star. And we provide the apologetics as to why that's not reasonable. It's not part of celestial navigation, but it also shows their weak point as well. When we plot this out and you have to assume a secondary tangent plane to do all the, I'm glad refracted back. When you do this and you evoke secondary tangent planes, what you don't do ever is get the 2 points to meet. They don't meet. There isn't a right angle triangle when they're doing it. They have different tangential planes pointing to the star and meeting never. Okay, they run parallel from the surface of the ball Earth, but go on parallel infinitum never ever meeting. So when they put that to you, what you could also ask is for them to demonstrate to you their right angle triangle from the elevation angle to the GP. And this is where they come undone. And this is why they only ever want to stay on one step, because all three steps of celestial navigation use the flat baseline. We don't have to have three different baselines, one at the center of the Earth, one as a tangent.
And you don't need to expand. You don't need to expand on it.
Yeah.
You just reiterate what you've just said. Don't go expanding on it.
Okay, so just to reiterate that point then, when they hold you to a triangle, demonstrate to them that they don't have a triangle, that A meets at the point of the star and B meets at the GP.
Let's have a word from Dave McKeegan. One second. Quote, Dave McKeegan, you can't use elevation angles alone to measure height on a globe, because you need a triangle with a flat baseline with a known length to the GP of the object in the sky. End quote. Globe believing, flat earth proving Dave Triangles McKeegan. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, actually, they also, and this was part of my video recently, they also have a right angle triangle, something that me and Tent said a long time back. Me and Tent talked about it, and Tent often said this, yeah. When they start with a tangent, right, that tangent extends past the horizon to be underneath the celestial body, right? That is their first right angle triangle. It doesn't matter what they say, right? That is the start of the right angle triangle. So they have an angle line from them to the celestial body. They have a tangent underneath them, right, that extends to beneath the celestial body, and as a line comes down from the celestial body to that tangent. You know what that line is? That line is created by the rocking of the sextant, right? That's the zenith from the GP. They then take that and bring it down to an equatorial plane that will be parallel. It won't always be their equatorial plane, but it's the same thing, parallel to the center of their globe.
Say it like you mean it. To the center of hell.
Yeah. And then that equatorial plane will extend out, just like it does in astronomy. It will extend out into the celestial plane, and doesn't matter what, they'll show you a circle and say that's their globe, and they show you a point that's just an arc length on that circle and say that's what they've measured. When what's really happening is that line is going out through their globe, is going to the celestial body, and their tangent plane, their equatorial plane is extending out into the celestial plane, all the way to be underneath that celestial body. And when the navigator rocks the sextant and gets the zenith from the celestial body's GP to the celestial body, that is the opposite of the right angle triangle. So they actually have two right angle triangles that they try not to show you. And this is mostly just not known by our opposition, because most of them don't learn properly about this. They learn it from LAHWF from back down, right? Who withhold information.
That's where I was going next. Can I just segue off that? Please. I want to segue off that. Don't feel bad if you're getting this straw man and you don't know what to do with it, because Jaron fell victim to the exact same thing with McToon, claiming we can get an angle from a single point on a sphere that won't meet the GP. Was my response when Jaron put the exact same argument to me because he got it from McToon. I just wanted to drop that in there. Brian, go ahead.
Right, this is the point I meant. So what Brian's saying there, this is how they have to construct it to make the right angle triangles. But look at how they make them. They have to create flat tangent planes to make the right angle triangles. Now, they then move these tangent planes to different positions on the surface and in hell to give the impression they're doing celestial navigation. And this was my point earlier, if you actually draw the lines that then are commensurate when you're plotting it on a tangent plane and put them all onto the surface, we don't get a point of convergence between the GP line to the point and the observer. Those lines never meet. They run parallel when you plot it on a ball. You understand? They don't have a triangle. It just goes off into infinity at the same distance between the points, and never do they meet.
Yeah.
That happens when you plot the flat plane right-angled triangles from celestial navigation to the center of Earth, transpose it to a tangent to two tangent planes on the surface to pretend that you've made a right-angled triangle. You don't create two parallel lines.
GP in space. I've ruined my joke. GP.
Okay,
in
let
space.
me respond
ruin it
to
twice. My bad.
Excuse me, I was talking over you there, but I want to respond to Adam just quickly, and don't forget, Adam, they take this triangle from the middle of the Earth, in the center of the Earth. They have to. That's the point. That's the explanation of the guys. They say you have to. Think of it. You have to slice it in the middle of the Earth to get the angle. That's the trick. It's a magic trick that they are doing. But nobody is doing that. And you're talking about the surface. Yep. But of course, nobody is doing that in reality. Nobody. That's not the surface. But in the explanation, how they can say it is done. It's just in the imagination. It is. The clarification is they have to go in the middle of the Earth to get the point and make it flat.
Yeah. So there's three problems with the ball if you want to focus on how the ball doesn't work, which isn't exactly the way I'm hoping to go in this direction, but we're not exactly at the beginning of the show, so fine. Number one, you can't get an angle off a curved surface. There's actually 4 problems. Number 2, if you're going to acquire that angle from a horizon, you haven't got a geometric horizon on a sphere to acquire it from. Number 3, you GP at a tangent from a single point on a ball that you can't get the angle from will give you a GP out in space. Number 4, your GP out in space has then got to move to the center of hell for it to be in any way functional on a flat plane in hell. That's a lot of problems. Meanwhile, every measurement and every transition to a different measurement in hell was done on and required a measurement off a flat plane. And in every instance, those measurements were dealing with and were negotiating and functionally being applied to a flat surface. Not in hell, not in space, not a GP that an angle wouldn't give you, on the surface that is flat and must be for this to work. For both globe believers and flat earthers, I might add. When we say you're going to need a flat earth for that, you are. Even for your fundy globe belief to not quite work and not quite be able to measure anything that's useful, to not quite use the horizon parallel to the plane of whatever your eye line is. None of that's conducive with a curved surface, and it does not work until you take a flat plane, put a GP in space that's not on the surface, and then move that to hell to get it to claim to work on a flat plane in hell, where you definitely ain't standing. But that's what you got to believe if you're a globe believer. I just hate getting so angry about this when we've moved past this, right? Yeah, we're going to do it occasionally at the end of the show, and it will come up in debate. But this feels like flexing. We know it don't work on a globe. Look how complex our understanding is of tangent planes with a dingleberry Earth that we've even got a name for, with a JP description of angles in hell on the equatorial flat plane inside a sphere. That's exemplary. I'm not going to deny our first-hand, exceptional, cutting-edge, tip-of-the-spear understanding of how a frigging globe don't work. But it just seems surplus to requirements, which is where, if you rewind, I stopped Adam. No. Let's not tell everybody how it don't work on a sphere. We've done enough. We've done enough. I've got 2,000 shows where you can go back and hear that. It works on a flat plane. And that further back, rewinding, giving the actual credit to the right person, John stopped this discussion about 45 minutes ago with, excuse me, doesn't matter about the triangle. It doesn't matter about the height. It doesn't matter that Dave McKeegan says you can't get the height off a globe either because you need a flat baseline. You need a flat baseline. Let's not put the fact you need a flat baseline on a globe or on a flat earth at the end of the sentence. Let's have it right at the front of it.
Yeah, Nathan, I have to say, people have to understand how fucking stupid it is and how funny it is also. It's so fucking funny. It's like a comedy show. Oh, I am bad. I'm bad again. But I'm just trying to say, for me, it's stupid and funny and frustrating in the same time. It's absolutely frustrating how people cannot get it. It's in front of them. We have told them that again and again and again. And why can they not see it? What's happening?
Yeah, why don't they get it? Earth is measured flat. But with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this live, unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. So a massive thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, gifted out memberships, hit me up on Ko-Fi, gave me cash, all that good stuff. And of course, a massive thank you to today's Discord and G Plus panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Like I say, if you're watching live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!
Wait, there was a super chat for someone that actually paid on the live stream to do a video that we did not cover, and I've just done an outro. So, actually, lads, we're still live. I'm going to do this video. So it's only a short.
Go for it.
Vlad, you aren't just saying that NASA is lying. You aren't just saying there's a conspiracy within a single company. You're implying there's a conspiracy involving the world's 71 space agencies, 13 of which have launching capabilities. Not only are you saying all 71 of those agencies are lying about the shape of the Earth, but
not only are you going to listen to every single straw man that you saying you, quote, believe Earth is flat. First objection, I didn't get it in the show. We carried on with celestial navigation. But believing is not something we do here. But what you are now going to do is listen to every single straw man that I lay down that you have not said. The man before him hasn't told him that all of the space agencies are lying. But I will. Space is fake. Can't have gas pressure without a container. If the sky was a vacuum, where the space agencies claim to be in space, then the gas we breathe would fill that space. That's how I would say it to you if you were to ask. But what's this? In the shorts video, we're being told how we say what we don't say. Infuriating.
but every single person within them is lying or being...
No. Astronauts are lying because they're claiming to actually be in Narnia. I mean, a sky vacuum in violation of the second law of thermodynamics, a description of gas behavior and how it would expand into space, an area of volume, which you claim these space agencies are in. So are you saying that they're not lying when they claim to be in an area that violates natural law? No, you didn't say that, though. I would just position it thus. You can't have gas pressure without a container. If the sky was a vacuum, then the gas we breathe would fill the space in line with entropic law.
Fooled by their respective companies. Furthermore, every single astrophysicist in the world is, by your implication, a scam artist getting paid to do research through telescopes and instruments. That would
maybe ask a few questions about why us saying Earth is flat requires anything beyond us demonstrating that that's how it's measured, as opposed to the implications in society, which are non sequitur to Earth's measurements.
be useless if the world were flat. So roughly 75,000 people are lying about what they do for a living.
No. We would say that Earth is measured flat, and you can stick it in your pipe and smoke it.
Not only is it absurd to even imply that NASA, a program that under the United States government, could possibly pull off this sort of conspiracy, but
this is what the guy asking the question of the flat earther is actually thinking would be the awful consequences if what the flat earther in this instance believes turned out to be true. Well, you can ponder on your questions that you strawman the flat earther with, because those are your questions that you would ponder because you're putting them in the mouth of the flat earther. Ultimately, they're just your questions and concerns that you would worry about were you to find out for a fact Earth is flat. Well, let me tell you this, so you may ponder those things that you concerned yourself with by projection. Earth is measured flat. That's what I'd tell you. I'd be very, very, very upset if you started telling me what I was saying, though.
The fact that all 71 space agencies around the world are also taking part in some conspiracy and never go strong.
Yes.
So a perfect spot. You know the quote, the NASA quote we were looking for yesterday, that Earth is a stationary, non-rotating plane. Yeah?
Yeah.
If you're going to engage with this guy after you've eaten this huge straw man sandwich that he's given you, then okay, I'll address your points with facts that state the Earth is flat, NASA being one of them.
We have documentation from NASA stating that.
Okay, I want to ask, is Nathan, are you there?
Yes, but I do want to get to the end of this video, Johnny.
Astrophysicist and astronaut is also part of the same. It's just, so many different people are involved in this major conspiracy.
Yeah, that's your concerns, mate. I just tell you, Earth's measured flat. That's a fact, and I can prove it. But you need to put all these straw men on your opponent so that you can project your pain that you would experience straight back onto the opponent, so that it becomes his projected pain.
Yeah, all the.
You believe the Earth?
That's not what I would do. See, quite the contrary, again, projection. What actually happens here is my opponents stutter and stammer around their claim to be globe proof, turning out to be a belief that was based on a flat Earth measurement. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next video.